You're in New York City. You put out a record. Tell me a little bit about your new album.
My new album is called 4, IV, Roman numeral 4, and it's my 4th album, coincidentally enough. And it's sort of my take on like 70s pop and glam, glitter rock, you know, that kind of thing. There's a lot of like Wings and Todd Rundgren and Queen and Bowie and you know, it's a pretty pop record. I purposely wrote in 4/4 for most of it, and
sure, right.
I'm very proud of it. I produced it, and it's good.
Yeah. So you're doing this all independently?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually used Kickstarter to fund the release of it. I had recorded it already, and then when it came time to manufacture both the CD and the vinyl picture disc, I used Kickstarter to get the funds to do that. So
right.
That's how I got that happening.
Now tell me about, since you've been in the game since about '86, okay? Tell me about your transition from the traditional music industry process to learning how to fund yourself and your music in this new digital age that's like 4 years old right now.
Well, I mean, I came up in punk rock, so when I started playing music, it was still a very do-it-yourself kind of environment,
mm-hmm.
and we didn't really have, like, my first band was called the Love Dolls, and we didn't really have an expectation that we were going to become professional musicians or really make money doing
right.
it. So a lot of that ethos from, you know, that time of, like, making flyers and promoting your own stuff, mm-hmm. I think still carries forth, although it's just a different medium.
Right.
And although I have had the pleasure of playing bass for a lot of successful signed acts,
right.
I've never had management really or a label for my own music, mm-hmm. so I've always kind of had the do-it-yourself thing going on anyways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and so the internet makes it easier in some ways, and then it makes it. I mean, I'm actually really into the internet because you can do a lot of stuff for free on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that so can everyone else, and so I think
right.
for the user to sift through the millions of bands to find the quality is probably more difficult.
Right.
You know, but that's the way it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, after all this time, you know, how do you feel in general? Like, are you where you want to be?
I am where I am, so it's sort of like, it's more about adapting to the situation that I'm in and making the best of it.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, for sure, if I had looked at, I'm not going to say how old I am, although you can look it up, but I mean, my expectations of what my career was going to be like, if you had asked me at like age 18 or 25,
mm-hmm.
were different than they are now.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm happy. I'm playing some cool shows here in New York. I mean, yeah. I'm not making shitloads of money, you know, but I'm not eating top ramen either. So,
Amen.
You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
it's just kind of like about a lot of being successful. And I think we talked about this or I don't know if it was you, like in a different interview, sort of like redefining success a lot,
right.
you know?
Absolutely. I mean, and that's because the music industry redefines itself. And the fans redefine what they want so constantly that, like, you know, I feel like it's this cycle of everybody having to mold, you know, in the entertainment industry. And I think that's, you know, what's exciting about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A lot of careers don't have that kind of turnover that's, you know, every year or every 5 years or whatever. So, you know, I really, you know, commend you for being able to just, like,
keep up
with the fucking kids, man, because it's crazy. I don't even, you know, I'm 25, but, you know, I don't even know. It's hard for me to stay connected with what people are doing who are 5-2 years younger than me.
Oh, well, yeah, me too. You know, I don't even bother trying. Okay. I just sort of do what I do, you know?
Right, exactly.
I'm not, like, chasing a dragon in that manner. I make music that I like, right. And then I'm happy when other people like it, too.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. If you had, and that was me on the written interview. This is part 2 of our, I think, like a label interview, by the way. If you had any advice for sprouts and new musicians coming up, you know, what would it be?
I'm sorry now, of course I'm going to start choking. I think finding your own voice and being true to yourself is important.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. Read your contracts is important. I don't know. Like I'm not coming up with a very, erudite answer for that.
I mean, do what you do and read your contracts is, you can live by that.
Yeah.
That's like great general advice, especially if you want to sign with somebody or a management company or anything like that.
And also, just keep busy. I've seen some of my friends from when I was younger who were so sort of precious about the way things had to go. They, and it's sort of in line with what we were just talking about being adapted. Right. It's like be open, be true to yourself, but don't be afraid to try different things. Or some people get so attached to like one way that their music has to be heard, or blah 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 blah, right, that they aren't being open to like other things that could occur. Right. So just saying yes a lot is good. It's as the Butthole Surfers once said, it is better to regret something that you have done than to regret something that you haven't.
Amen. Well, on that note, this was a very insightful meeting with Abby Travis.
Thank you, Miss Jordana.
No problem. It's hot in this dressing room, and I'm going to find somebody to buy me a beer and check out her show. I'm so excited. Woo! All right, guys. Bye.
Hey, baby.